Hello, enjoy the best. Wanted to share it a little bit today on James chapter 3. Faith controls the tongue. So our faith is actually what's coming out of our mouth. It's wild if you read James chapter 3. It starts out with, my brethren, let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. It's so funny because I consider myself a sharer. Hopefully I'll get like a grace pass because I like to share. And I encourage everyone to talk to Jesus and ask, seek, and knock on his heart so Jesus can teach them. I notice some people, they prefer titles to avoid the responsibility or the ability to respond when it comes to the correction that they try to give to everybody. I ain't trying to correct nobody, okay? I am hoping that the King of Glory is directing my path through a really gentle, God-breathed way where my heart's cup is filled with his love. And then from that overflow, when he directs my path, the true sons of God are led by the Spirit of God, that I share who he wants me to share it with and when he wants me to share it. Meanwhile, I need to shut the heck up. I need to let my words be few and flawless. It's one of my prayers is, Lord, make my words fewer and flawless. And Father God, not my will, your will. I trust you. Teach me how to trust you more, because at the end of the day, we can think we have some facts or we have feelings. Unfortunately, because we're still wrapped on a earth suit made out of dirt and living on a planet of dirt, our perspective could be a little distorted, and we all have blind spots. And so when James 3 talks about, and let not many of you become teachers, meaning slow your roll, because this stricter judgment is coming to those that were functioning in a form of godliness but denied the power of perfect love. And so I pray that I'm reflecting and projecting the seven flames of God, which starts with the fear of the Lord, which is the beginning of wisdom, then the beginning of knowledge, and the beginning of understanding. I claim to just be a hungry, thirsty child of God that desires to reflect and project him after I eat what he's serving me. And before I try to serve it to anyone else, he reminds me regularly he's not impressed with my gifts that he gave me out of his generosity, and that there's more benefit of me eating what he's telling me to serve others. I have to make sure I take the medicine first. One, to make sure I'm not giving people a placebo or poison from my pain. And so James 3 goes deep. I mean, it talks about, verse 3 says, indeed, we put bits in horses' mouth that they may obey us, and we turn their whole body. Look at also at ships. There they are also large and are given by fierce winds. They are turned by a very small rudder wherever the pilot desires. Verse 4 just broke down several different layers. Situationally, what we carry and what's happening outside of us. So our relationships, let's just say our relationships as a ship, but then there's also a lot of external winds that's blowing, storms that are blowing. And I love how Jesus rested in the boat in the midst of the storm with the disciples. He didn't let the disciples or the storm interrupt his rest, which is that's so just powerful, how anchored Jesus was, that he truly was the Prince of Peace, and that there is rest in love, because perfect love does cast out fear. And then it goes into verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. See how great a forest a little fire kindles. Meaning, it doesn't take much to ignite us either in a destruction or ignite us in lighting up the world. But what matters less than us being on fire is what kind of fire are we carrying? Is it dirty smoke or is it clean fire? Is it coming from the seven flames of Isaiah 11:2? Or are we leaning to our limited logical understanding, getting information and things from that doesn't give Jesus glory? I really believe when we start with the nature of God, it really gives us a place to rest and lean on, So when people do call us bad names or misinterpret what we're saying, we have Jesus. we have the needful thing. We have the best, right? The limitless, flawless, timeless one, the healthiest, wisest, wealthiest one. So even when creation rejects us, and creation rather calls us names than to actually love us and say, Sandra, I'm calling you a heretic because they would rather just call me a heretic. So it's just easier to name call than to actually care and actually go back to Jesus and talk to him about them, right? And so one of the things that I love about James is it encourages us to talk to Creator more than we talk to creation. Because when we do talk about creation or look at creation or use our five senses, our gates, first, we're choosing the number 2, and then we'll start doing, and we're end up in either voodoo or doo-doo, new age or whatever, and we'll bypass the new wine, which is what Jesus was serving, which was the blood of mercy. I desire to be an agent of mercy, which that requires me to prioritize what Creator's prioritizing, seeking first his kingdom of holy, perfect love that casts stuff out, that casts out fear. So I don't want to preach or teach or share out of my fear or pain or feelings or past or creation. I don't want people to taste me or creation. I pray that I carry so much of his love, his nature. His sweet 16 of 1 Corinthians 13 describes what perfect love is. His Galatians 5:22 and 23, which describes the freedom fruit that he bears, that we can only birth or produce from us abiding in him, the tree of life, the true vine. Meaning there's counterfeit vines. There's a lot of counterfeit vines. There is a head knowledge of good and evil that Adam and Eve ate from that disqualified them from truly enjoying the fruits of God's labor. He made us on the 6th day so we could enter in his rest on the 7th day. I think we're missing the point of the manufacturer settings on prioritizing, again, what he's doing. And so James 3, the whole thing, I don't want to make this too long, but the whole thing just talks about verse 6 says, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. What iniquity? That's talking about internal issues. That's talking about pride, lust, and lies, where all of us need to humble ourselves. Iniquity is not just transactions where I can talk about those homosexuals, those murderers, those thieves, because I didn't physically kill, steal, and destroy, but did I do it in my heart? That's iniquity. That's the stuff that God, the heartful one, is going after, is getting us back into alignment and agreement with his core nature, not our hand doing, because he's really not impressed with our doing, whether it's good or we're doing bad. He's not intimidated by our transaction. If we got a few tattoos or a few piercings, okay? Now, I don't put a bumper sticker on my Ferrari. I'm a holy temple, but that's for me and my house, and my temple. So my standards may be different, and God's strategy and for somebody's physical state may be different. They might be in a different season. So it's not my place to try to assess with my tongue or with my eye gate, my mouth gate, my skin gate, my nose gate, what they are doing. I need to make sure I'm satisfied on what he is first, being. And as I be in him, he be in me, we birth something together that I can't do by myself and that he's not going to do by himself. The Lord made the earth for us to be his dominionaires, to walk in the garden with full honesty and transparency, to really actually talk to him more than we talk to them. And so verse 6 talks about, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body, and it sets on fire the course of nature. My goodness, fighting against nature is not going to work in our favor. It is set on fire by hell. So it's showing you, today I set before you, right hand, get left. Get right, get left. Today I said before you, use your tongue for life and not death. Use your eye gate, your ear gate to eat from the tree of life. And so that way we'll be so full of Jesus that there's no room for anything else. And then so it just goes on and on. It's just so good. For every kind of beast and bird and of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man can tame the tongue, meaning this can't be done by flesh. This is a useless, fruitless battle. We have too much momentum in our flesh, in our head knowledge. We need to be born again. We must be born again. And that's why every night we lay our heads down, we wake up with new mercies. We drink of the wine that Jesus shed on the cross, so we get to embrace and become agents of mercy. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our God and Father, and with it we curse man. We have been made in the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Does a spring send forth fresh water and bitter from the same opening? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olives, or a grapevine bear figs? Thus no spring can yield both salt water and fresh. All right, so it's just breaking it down. Listen, I'm either an apple tree, so I need to be speaking like my King Jesus. I need to speak like I know who my daddy is, and I need to bear that freedom, fruitful, Galatians 5, divine 9 elements of that tree of life, versus me being double-minded, double-tongued, and sometimes I'm saying the opposite. I'm uprooting the seed that I sowed of the goodness of the incorruptible seed that Jesus has sown inside of me. Almost done. Verse 13. Who is wise and understanding among you? Question mark. Let him show by good conduct. I mean, this thing's supposed to come out of us. We don't start with good conduct. Sandra can't save Sandra. Sandra didn't create Sandra. So what I look like trying to use behavior modification without first dying to who I think I am, dying to what they said I am, and only resting in who Creator says I am. Letting him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. 7 flames of Isaiah 11:2. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking, what's seeking? Christ seeking or self-seeking? In your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. Father, let every man be a liar and Christ be the truth, because every man, unfortunately, is still wrapped in dirt. Until we feed our spiritual man, our glorified body, to go through our soul, to renew our mind, so we get the mind of Christ with the helmet of salvation, and it comes out of our gates, we have blind spots. We are missing the mark. Verse 15, there's grace for that, okay? As long as you're born again, you're secure and mature in him at the core level. It's just that soul needs to be trained up. Verse 15, this wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, demonic. What? I mean, there's a counterfeit wisdom? It doesn't descend from above, meaning there's a vertical axis. When we look up to the hills which cometh our help, we get to see from Daddy God's eyes. That's how we spiritually ascend. When we look up to him, we stop looking down on ourselves and look down on others. And so it says, where envy and self-seeking exists, confusion, where's confusion coming from? And every evil thing will be there. There's another verse that says, where there's strife, there's every evil work. Meaning I can have strife inside of me when I'm double eating from the septic tank and I'm eating from God. I need to fast from the world and feast on Jesus, my manna, my bread of life. Verse 17, almost done. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceful. God has a way. There's an order to do it decently in order. Gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy, meaning I need to eat until my cup overflows, and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Verse 17. Whoa, I need to meditate, marinate on that until people can taste and see that the Lord is good, abiding in me and I'm abiding in him. Through my abiding in him, I get to touch and agree and birth that fruit. Last verse. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Wow. God bless you. Enjoy the best.